What do you get when a Swedish company makes a game in which Sweden is totally not overpowered? You get an overpowered Sweden, okay? It makes sense if you really think about it. Seriously though, the new update has truly made Sweden insanely overpowered with the mission tree that is absolutely astonishing. Tons of great missions, and this actually expands after you form Scandinavia. So I'm really looking forward to show you guys today what we're going to be doing as this amazing nation. As you probably know, we start off as a junior member of the Danes, and we're gonna be breaking free from the yoke of Denmark quite early on in the game. First off, we gotta check out the 4 missions that allow us to get our independence done in the first few years of the game. The easiest of which is military advisor. We just have to recruit a military advisor. Morale of armies discipline is always great if you have them available. If you don't, whatever you have is fine. And this is gonna give you Mr. Johan Vasa as a 1441 general, and he will eventually become the leader of your country after you win the independence war. Next up, we can get support from the estates, and that's easy to do. You just have to give out 3 privileges for 2 estates. We obviously want to give the +1 mana privilege for all 3 first off, and in order to get the 3rd one done, because we don't have that much crownlands, we only have 6%, we have to seize crownlands, and then after we can give the diplomatic power. Take note, that does mean you're going to be left with 1% crownlands, which is really not optimal. Don't worry, we're gonna get back our crownlands pretty early on in the game, and to offset the autonomy debuff that we'll be getting in the first 10 to 15 years from the passive autonomy increase from estates, we'll just be lowering our autonomy in our provinces. Giving out religious diplomats is also a good idea since it offers 25 relations with every Catholic nation around. So we're gonna go to the rivals of the Danes, and most likely the English. Yes, the English will support our independence. Novgorod and Burgundy, let's see if these guys support. Novgorod does not, but it's 51-52, so that's really close, and Burgundy no chance. So let's go to Novgorod and see who their rivals are. The Danes, obviously. So we're gonna scornfully insult the Danes. We need some prestige. We gotta get some prestige first, so patronage of the arts and Buyashnoki, scornful insult the Danes. That should give us the relations with the Novgorod, and it did. So let's go with this second nation to support our independence. Alternatively, you can also get this mission done if you have 100 liberty desire, which we already have. So now we get 3 options. We can either fight the war by ourselves, and we get a little bit of a bonus here to our war exhaustion and manpower recovery, or the first option allows every rival of Denmark that is not already supporting our independence to support our independence as long as they have above 0 relations with us. So let's check if Burgundy has above 0. They got 75. All right, so let's go for the first option. Obviously the easy option is the best option. Wait, Lithuania? Oh right, they also have Lithuania that rivaled them. My bad, I didn't even notice the Lithuanians. So we got 4 nations supporting us already. Oh god, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually offered us independence because of the amount of nations that support us. We're also going to get the 1% burgher loans to help out in the war, and because we need 1 more privilege, we're going to give out the supremacy over the crown. Take note, we do have pretty high influence, and the higher your estate influence, the lower the amount of crownlands that you get from taking enemy provinces in a war. So we're not going to get much crownlands from the Danish war, but we'll get some more afterwards once we start developing our provinces, since we get 0.2 crownlands per development, and we're also going to be seizing crownlands. Now for the support from the estates, I recommend you go for the burghers. It offers 10 galleys for free. All of them are getting built in Vasterbotten, so it is going to take a little bit of time. Keep that in mind. It's not going to be instant. I recommend you move your fleet over to that area so that whenever the ships are finished building, you have a strong fleet to fight against the enemy armies. And last but not least, we will be recruiting the Free Company in Bergslögen. Totally how that province is pronounced, isn't it? And I absolutely adore the fact that the Free Company also gives us another mission here where we get the choice of either losing some liberty desire or getting 10,000 manpower and liberty desire. Hells to the yes, boys. We start with 19,000 manpower. Definitely super ready for this war. And we just did all 4 of our missions here before the first month even finished. So on the 11th of December, we can basically declare the war against the Danes. A lot of the times they allied the Teutons, and either East Frisia or Dithmarschen also sometimes they ally. Whatever the case, don't don't stress too much about it. If you went for the option with the alliances, you're gonna have basically a ton of nations helping you out, pretty much 25% of Europe. But that being said, you can also do this by yourself if you want to. It's gonna be a little bit harder, and I recommend you go for the first option, even if you're a more experienced player, simply because the second option doesn't give massive bonuses. It does offer some, but they're not amazing. And the reality is that the sooner you do this war, the better, because in 49 we want to have peace so we can seize crownlands. And we got a pretty sizable battle here. Hopefully we win this before the reinforcements arrived, and we did. Let's go. Make sure we concentrate our units, and then we can fight the Norwegians and probably stack wipe the Holsteini if they don't move away from there. They did not move away from there. We stack wiped Norway's army, and we're gonna stack wipe Holstein's army now. Exactly what I was saying. Because Sweden starts with the extra 20% infantry combat ability at the very beginning, the Swedish armies are actually insanely powerful, so we can really just win this war by ourselves. But we don't need to when we have so many amazing allies, do we? Make sure you go up to 0 stability before you click on the declare independence mission, so you have 1 stability afterwards, which means you're gonna start getting passive prosperity in your provinces as long as they don't have devastation. Some of them will have devastation by the coastline because of the new pirates in Gotland. So our second mission here is going to be to take back Gotland from the pirates right after we finish our independence war. Honestly, the biggest challenge is just going to be taking the fort in Lund. Afterwards is basically smooth sailing for the rest of the war. And as you can see, my allies have really done most of the heavy lifting. Sadly, Novgorod took control of these provinces in the north that I wanted to take for myself, but not to worry, because Novgorod's going to be my next target after I finish the war with the Swedes and the nation of Gotland. Or better yet, the Gotland pirates. I literally lost focus for like a few seconds, and my mercenary company that was sieging down Shealand was stack wiped by the Danes. Luckily though, the Novgorodians arrived here as well now, so it's their problem now, okay? I don't need to continue sieging stuff down myself. Also, not a massive deal since we do have a lot of manpower, so I just basically recruited back all of my units. Booyah Schnakidoski, courtesy of the Novgorodians, on which I just got my claim here on Neva. I managed to get 99% war score. Looks like the Teutons are also completely Kaputski, so I'm gonna be getting their money. This is mostly gonna go to other nations. Actually, I'm only getting 34 ducats, but I'm doing it just because I can. And I'm canceling their rivalries to get a little bit of prestige. How much is that is gonna go to me? 1.8. Well, it is what it is. Bye-bye ski, Teutonski. And now let's do the Danish piece. The Danish piece. That sounds like a Danish pastry. If I ever make my own Danish pastry, it is gonna be called the Danish piece. But we're gonna go for the Grand Independence so we can start taking land, and then after we're taking all of Scaniland, Bornholm, Bauchlublus, Blublus, Jämtland, Trondelag, and all of these areas here adjacent to us. 92% war score. I could go for 100. I don't need to go for 100 though, and I'm not taking anything else because I want the less aggressive expansion, since I will continue to expand into the Livonian lands very early. I mean, like right now. Now we get a permanent claim on everything that I mentioned earlier. We're gonna get a permanent claim on, and John Vasa will lead Sweden. He's gonna be a 644 with an average claim. I'm actually curious if this is always a different number or if it's scripted for him to be a 644. Let's give John Vasa the lead of the country. Let's see how much crownlands we actually managed to get. I'm curious now. We got 5% crownlands. That is actually not bad. That is really not bad, 5% crownlands. So now let's move our troops over here. Actually, let's leave half over here because we're going to be attacking Gotland. Get our rivals, Teutons, Novgorod, and Denmark. Time to disband some of our forts. The one in Elfsborg is not really amazing. I'll keep the one in Kalmar and the one in Trondelag. Abo also is irrelevant since, well, it's not really protecting much, is it? And we'll keep the one in Viborg. Scania will delete after we've lowered the devastation in these areas, because remember, fortifications lower devastation 10 times faster. 0.91 lowered here because of the fortification, and in the adjacent provinces to that fort, whilst areas that do not have a fort get only minus 0.08, which is very little by comparison. Holy mother of God, look at the amount of claims that we have, guys. That is a huge amount of claims right there. Burgundy asking me to give them sailors. Okay, that's the strangest request ever, Burgundy. Do you even need sailors? Lowering the crownlands again is gonna give us some rebellion, so we're gonna have to fight these boyos. Well, not lowering the crownlands. I guess it's getting crownlands. And now we can attack Gotland. I waited until I was able to actually get some crownlands before I attacked them. Remember, 49 vital. Next up, we want to be at peace in 1454. So we gotta time the Gotland War and the Livonian War within that time frame. That means I'm gonna be attacking Livonia whilst I'm probably still at war with the Gotish or Gotlandish. Since we've cored up all of Scaniland, we got the mission Swedish Scaniland. We can make them Swedish. The culture in Scaniland area becomes Swedish, and we lose 10 years of separatism, but we get some separatist rebels spawning in there, and Denmark makes us their historical rival, or we can just get one stability. Screw the stability, boys. This is all Swedish, always has been, always will be. Look at this beautiful Swedish loans here, boys. In fact, we've been kind of culturally converting the rest of our country, so there's no Sápmi and very few Finnish. Soon to be no Finnish also, because we're converting them also to Swedish. Hey, you know what? I'm only doing it for role-playing purposes, okay? Just shut up, okay? Shut up. It's not what you think. This is not what it looks like. A mere 500 days to take the island of Gotland, just like in historical times. Not really, no. First, we gotta get some monies from Stettin, and now we can finally peace out Gotland and reintegrate them into our country. We actually have a core in Gotland, so it's double good to take these guys out early on, because the earlier you take them on, the faster you get that extra 10 development, and it's also a Swedish province. We managed to get an alliance with the Poles, which offers us another mission. For this one, we need to be either allied to the Pope, the Emperor of the Echeri, or a country with above 250 development, i.e. the Poles. That is in Europe. We also have a little bit of a change of plans, guys. I'm not going to attack the Livonians yet. I'm going to wait for 1 year, and then I'm going to attack Novgorod. Since it's going to be a fairly easy war, they have 3,000 units. That's pretty much nothing, really. And we can quickly take out the lands that we want and integrate them into Sweden before the Muscovites do. Because, let's face it, Muscovy is an issue here. We want to grab as much of Novgorod before they do, right? Boom shakalaka doom. Time for the... I got nothing that rhymes. It's time for the war. I don't know what I was going with there. Hot dang, they recruited the free they really want to live, don't they? I respect that. I really do respect that, Novgorod. That was a honest, really great attempt at surviving, but yeah, you know, I'm gonna have to kill you. Some of you might be wondering, why are you not vassalizing Novgorod? Well, it's not possible because they got 103 war score, so I cannot actually vassalize them. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this deal here. I would be able to take Tigvit, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna instead take some money. Coalition wise, it is only Norway and Denmark, so literally nobody important. And now we can do our third seizing of Crownlands. We are about 4 months late, but it's still okay. I'm gonna call this on time, all right? It's on time, boys and girl. Looks like Riga doesn't want to join because their ruler is malevolent. Isn't that like a movie with Angelina Jolie? So I guess that means the leader of Riga is Angelina Jolie, right? Which begs the question, why is her last name Jolie? That's French. Is she French? I never knew that she's French. If she's not French, why is her last name Jolie? And most importantly, why am I talking about freaking Angelina Jolie whilst I'm playing EU4? That makes no sense. Finally, we can do our second reform. So, as you guys know, reforms have been revamped in the recent update, and we can go for the classic strengthen noble privilege for the extra manpower. Grant noble castle rights offers fort maintenance minus 20%, however, and every single time we construct up-to-date fortifications, we get 5% loyalty for the nobility, so that's a really good buff. Increased levies estate privilege no longer increases influence and no longer decreases maximum absolutism or absolutism if we pick this one. And then we also have noble officer corps that offers yearly army tradition and army professionalism. I love the manpower. It is a good buff, but I'm gonna go for the army tradition because it is a lot more powerful, in my opinion, at least in the long run. Reval, more like you fall. Damn, I'm not funny. I need to stop doing this. I'm like one of those really horrible dads that just makes bad jokes all the time and secretly sleeps with your babysitter. What? Who said that? And I thought the other siege was long. Look at this, boys. 536 days to take Königsberg. I guess that's why they call it the City of Kings, right? Is that what Königsberg means? Oh, that's so cute. Muscovy actually gave Condottieri to the Livonians. But it's too late though, Livonia. Even with the Condottieri, I still have what I need. So you're now officially Swedish, Livonia. Time to send the Muscovites also a scornful insult. Muscovite culture is something of an oxymoron? No. How about, is that sorry thing on your head what passes for a crown in Muscovy? Yeah, that seems a little bit more fitting for a Swedish insult. We're going high class here with the insults, okay? Hot diggity dog, we got the radical reforms, which means we get 400 mana points altogether, but we have to fire off 2 of our advisors. I mean, we're not gonna really do that though. We're just gonna pretend we kick them out of the court and we can recruit them back afterwards. Take note, this event happens after you get an inflation reduction and a trade efficiency advisor, roughly within 10 years. Sooner, sometimes later. It really is super RNG, so make sure you get these 2 advisors hired whenever you want to trigger that event. Oh no! The Teutons are getting raffle stomped by the Poles and Danzig. Oh, this is horrible. I was expecting this to happen, to be fair. I was wondering why the English went to war with the Norwegians, and then I saw this. Norway apparently managed to snake their way into Scotland. Oh god, this run is getting more and more cursed. And I'm dying off to rebels, guys. I got so many freaking rebels because of the different cultures and the different religions in these areas. After your initial expansion and conquest into the Scandinavian parts, obviously you want to centralize, kill off the rebels, and stabilize your economy. The best way you can do that is develop your provinces. I've been developing quite a little bit. You especially have these 4 provinces here, the Dalaskogan copper mine, as well as the other 3 iron mines. You want to develop these provinces because these trade goods will give you the highest amount of income for the rest of the game. So the earlier you invest some diplomatic points into developing this, and even some military points, right? Because you want to make space for more units also and more manpower, the better it's going to be the whole game. Especially with the Dalaskogan gold mine, once you upgrade this bad boy to level 3, you get 9 goods produced. That's the equivalent to 45 production development, which is a lot of development. Ah, yes, the famous Ducal Prussia, the new tag in EU4 that not many people know even exists, a result of Poland meddling in the affairs of the Prussians here, and definitely something that's worth making a video out of. If you guys are interested, let me know. Speaking of, if you guys want a second part for this campaign, if we get 10,000 likes on this video, within the first week after it's released, I will make a second part. I'm actually going to record the second part today, but I'll edit it if there's enough support for it. Time to go to war with the Norwegians. We're gonna go for Akershus as the war target, and we're gonna let the English do most of the heavy lifting because they are already at war. We're just gonna capture the lands that they have in Norway still, so we can basically have all of Scandinavia for ourselves, and then after, for the next 20 years, basically do nothing except centralize and fix our economy. What the hell, England? When the freaking schnapps did you manage to get these provinces? Oh, please don't tell me they're gonna get this in the war. That's gonna be horrible if they take this. Whew! Luckily enough, the English did not take it, so let's see if we can do a peace deal now. I want to take all of the Norwegian proper lands. I don't really care about anything else. I can take that. Actually, can I take a little bit of Iceland too? Looks like I can take Iceland, but then I'm not gonna be able to take something else in Norway. What would that be? Like these 2 provinces? No, I guess I'm just gonna have to continue with the war in that case. Actually, by blockading the 2 provinces that they still have, I got the war score I need, so now I can get everything I want. 103, 102, let's go, boys. And that means we have Iceland, which means we can do a little bit of colonization later on if we want to in this run. Plus, we can now do another mission here, the Crown of Norway, that offers permanent claims on Denmark, Schleswig-Holstein, and Northern Jutland. So that means after we capture all of this, we get the fall of Denmark, which makes a center of trade in Scania, and the center of trade in Sjælland is going to be increased by 1 level, as will the one in Ostjylland, and 200 military points. That's really not bad, actually. That's really going to fix our economic situation by getting the majority of the Lübeck trade node for ourselves then. And look how beautiful we look right now, boys. We got almost everything that we need for the next few years at least. We don't need to expand anymore. The third government reform is a little little bit of a special one because initially you actually want to go for the expanded royal court, which offers extra reform growth, which means you can get the rest of the reforms 20% faster, but then afterwards you want to change this after you've got the other reforms, since a lot of these are really great, like the regional councils that offer state edicts unique to each age. So for example, for the Age of Discovery, I think we have 50% national tax increase. The centralization of state refund from the centralized monarchical bureaucracy is also really good. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna go for this one for the time being to increase the speed of getting the other reforms. Since because we expanded so much and our autonomy has been pretty high, we didn't get that many reforms yet, so we need to start centralizing to get those reforms. Honestly, the moment that this event triggered and the price of copper increased by 50%, my economy skyrocketed. I'm getting 9.5 on the plus now as profit, albeit my army is quite small considering, but still, I was getting like 4 ducats or 5 ducats before by comparison. You know what you need to do if you want to see the economic change with this country for the second part, and we might even switch over to Norse with a unique set of events. And until the next time, check out this awesome Novgorod run. And I want to give a massive thank you to all of my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers. I would not be able to do this without all your support.